never shown our studio.
Yeah.
And you're actually sitting in the seat of one of our guests right now. Today we are here at Canon for an event we are throwing all about VR.
What is VR a problem that it's solving?
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Creator Support in the Car. Today we're answering a question from Nathan Espinoza.
Nathan's question reads, with the rise in popularity of headsets, how do you think this new tech will change the way creators create content? And what effect do you think it'll have on the creator-viewer relationship?
Now, we are uniquely qualified to answer this question for two reasons. One, we spent a lot of time in Apple Vision Pro earlier this year.
That's true.
And two, we shot our first ever VR video in partnership with Canon. It's a tour of our studio and it's live on Canon's channel right now. If you want to check out our studio in 180-degree VR, you can check that out.
What the stink? All right, so in this video, we're going to bring you behind the scenes at our event with Canon, where we debuted our VR studio tour.
Whoa. Yeah, I need to do this.
We're also going to bring you into the process of what it was like to make that video.
And along the way, we're going to answer Nathan's question. We're going to give you our take on what we think the future of creators and VR video is.
Now, this episode today is sponsored by Canon, which is an incredible thing I've always wanted to say. My first camera ever was a Canon camera. Canon cameras, we've used them throughout our career, so thank you to Canon.
All right, so what was it like to shoot a video in VR? So it's something that sounds really overwhelming, but actually was a lot easier than you think. We used this lens, which is the Canon RF 5.2mm f2.8L dual fisheye lens. And we attached it to a Canon EOS R6 Mark II.
Did you all know that it's actually not EOS?
Yeah,
it's EOS.
EOS.
Canon EOS.
Crazy.
Not EOS, not EOS.
Yeah.
It's EOS.
So it was the EOS R6 Mark II with the Canon dual fisheye lens, and we had a mic attached to the bottom of it, which was an ambisonic mic. A consideration when you're shooting in VR is that someone probably has a headset on and they're looking around. So you need spatial audio that tracks as you're moving around and brings you into the environment. So that's what that mic did. Now what we did is we put that setup on this C-stand that we rigged up where we had the arm extend really far out. The reason for that is as you're watching our studio tour, whether it's with your phone or on headset, if you look down, you're not gonna see the tripod. So you need a tripod where it can actually extend out. From there, we set up this rig in different parts of our studio, and we actually just kept it incredibly stable so that you, as the viewer, can look around the room and the space that you're in. We can talk you through what's going on, but the goal is actually for you to look around yourself, not for us to move the camera a ton.
So if you're watching our VR studio tour, you're what's called an active viewer. This is very different than if you're watching something on your TV, you're scrolling TikTok, and you're really easily distracted. With a headset on, you're in one singular location and you are plugged into what's happening.
And that's the first way that VR can change the creator-consumer relationship. There's a level of depth that comes from active viewing, where you as the viewer moving the phone around or moving your head around is such an active part of the experience.
It meant that we had to be a little bit more intentional with how we filmed the studio tour. There is a scene where I'm talking to the camera and Samir goes essentially off frame to make coffee while I'm speaking to the camera.
Yes, so while Samir makes me a cup of coffee.
Makes you, wow.
Makes us a cup of coffee, sorry.
There's more people here, Colin.
There are more people here.
Now we did that very intentionally so that as I'm talking, viewers are entertained and have multiple storylines happening at once. And we're actually making use of the 180-degree VR and they can look around to look at Samir while I'm talking.
So once we were done filming, I know what you all are thinking. How do you edit a VR video? Because 10 years ago when VR was introduced to us, I remember someone said the word stitching. They were like, oh, you just have to stitch it together. I got no interest in stitching a video.
I don't sew.
But actually now it's really easy to edit with the EOS VR plugin for Premiere. So you can actually edit the video just directly into Premiere. It's a really seamless and simple process. So if you're interested in experimenting with VR, very simple setup now and simple editing. Now, when Canon brought this project to us and showed us the lens, we decided to shoot a studio tour because what we feel is that VR content has to be observational or experiential. It has to be something that you as the viewer actually want to be in the space and looking around. So as we think about like where could VR content go, I don't think we're at a place where every creator is going to start uploading VR content all of a sudden. I think where we might get to is as more and more headsets get into people's homes, as YouTube has the capability of showing 180-degree VR, what we'll probably get is dropped into experiences that we've never had access to before. So that might be like a safari experience where there's like a stable camera and you get to see what's going on in this unusual part of the world, or courtside at a Lakers game where you can actually set up a camera, you can put on the headset, sit on your couch, but you're actually courtside watching highlights of a game. Or it could be at a concert where you're dropped into a front row seat and you can put on a VR headset and look around that concert.
For us, there's a scene in our studio tour where we place the viewer in the chair of what it's like to be a guest on our show. The best possible way to do that is using 180-degree VR.
That, to me, is going to be the first iteration of how consumers are going to engage with VR. They're going to get real-life experiences from home by wearing headsets. And filmmakers and creators are going to enable that, but right now, it's probably going to be reserved for people who have access to really cool experiences. All right, now we're going to take you to Burbank, California for our debut event for this studio tour at Canon's office.
This is the lens. This is the one that we use to shoot our VR studio tour.
So as people show up to this event, they can pop on the headset and the tour. Oh, wow.
Oh my God. Wait, this is wild.
Coffee is a very important part of the Colin and Samir event experience. We had to bring in an expert.
Try my best.
All right, people are showing up. We should go out there and have some coffee with them. This is David.
Let's go.
I just had like a total starstruck moment with him. I watch your shorts all the time. There's something very special about the few events that we've had, and especially this one. Everyone at the event is a creator. So there's this underlying thing that just binds us all together where everyone's excited about creating. And it just results in a lot of like energy around innovation, experimentation. And this event particularly was really cool to see.
During Q&A at the event, I could tell there were a few creators there who were kind of skeptical about VR, which is common.
How do you guys see that as being something that you guys would even like incorporate into your guys' actual content output?
What is VR, do you guys think or feel a problem that it's solving?
And specifically with us, because we make long form podcasts and we're asking like, where does this fit into your content strategy? And what we told them was, as a creator, you have an engine that drives your business. It drives, the majority of what your audience consumes. And then you have experimentation. On the experimentation side of your business, you want to be doing things that are new, not only for yourself so that you can grow as a creator, but so that you do something new for your audience that they don't expect.
Now, the question with any platform or any hardware like this is going to be a supply and demand question. The question is, as the supply of headsets goes up and gets into people's homes, there's going to naturally be a demand for VR experiences and VR content. As that starts to tick up, we as creators are well positioned to innovate and experiment. And the dual fisheye lens makes it really easy to turn a Canon camera into a VR camera and experiment with a new type of content. So thank you so much to Canon for giving us this challenge, giving us something brand new to try and to experiment with, and to actually look forward at where the future of video is going. This was really fun for us. Definitely check out our studio tour. It's linked in the description. And if you want to come to our next event like this one, just stay tuned, because I don't know when it is. But it was so fun.
It was really fun.
So great. I'm so grateful to everyone who came and hung out. Like, all I want to do is throw another event. So just stay tuned across all Colin and Samir platforms, because
we're fired up about events.